I was just praying to God in that in prayer, and just the way the Lord does in his good ways, he just allowed me to finish speaking. And once I was done blabbing and, saying all the stuff that I came in to say, right? And I finally shut up long enough to allow him to speak. One of the things that he really impressed upon me is that I cannot elevate you while you're walking disobedience. I cannot elevate you while you walk in disobedience. And I'm just like, Lord, what do you mean? Like, what you mean? I was married now. Like, what you talking about? For me, those greater areas of like sin or disobedience or falling short and all of those things, for me, gone by the wayside. So I'm just like, Lord, what are you talking about? And just like we do sometimes all too often is we'll take some instructions from God and we will elevate them because it seems like something that is, more profitable to us, or it seems like something that's more along the lines of the American dream. Like if God told me to go get a new house, then I'm gonna pay attention to that. If God told me to go get a new car, I'm gonna pay attention to that. If God told me I'm gonna be promoted, then I'm gonna pay attention to that. But then we seem to, for some instructions, we seem to not only just bring them down on the priority level, we seem to ignore God and act like it doesn't matter. And God is saying that is not so, right? So especially in my situation where it's like there were certain things that he told me to do and I jump right on and I do it. But because I was also more comfortable with those things in my own strength. And when it came to something that seems so simple, something as simple as social media, it is extracurricular activity. You hear me? Like social media is extracurricular activity. And when it came to something so simple like social media, it's like, the Lord is like, no, I asked you to do something in this area. I gave you instructions in this area and you didn't follow. I can't elevate you when you walk in disobedience. And that hit me like a ton of bricks because I'm just like, man, Lord, like, it's just a video. What do you mean? It's just a video. But after I got through with my little temper tantrum, I really did sit down with God and say, okay, Lord, what is it that you would have me to do? What is it that you, why is it that you brought this across my plate? And there were just certain things that God had begun to reveal to me that will kind of come into play with social media. So I wanted to share some of those things with you guys. I wanted to share kind of the setup with you. Again, just from a point of accountability as well, because there are certain things that I just have not done. One of them is really pretty much for 5 days a week, making a post a day. But I'll just show you how he broke everything down to me. So when social media in general. So at first, of course, I'm not looking at views. I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at the purpose and the reason for me doing this. What is God trying to change in my heart? What is it that he's trying to do? What is it that he's trying to bring to me and bring through me? Right? That's first and foremost. So when I'm looking at that aspect of things, I sat down and in a certain sense, I made a list, right? But, I didn't do a physical list, but this is something I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about mentally, right? But I did this whole list of things that I had asked God for versus things that could be, should be, would be worked out by following this plan that God had given me with social media. And on this list, some of the things that I wanted to do, from big things to small things, on this list, some of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to work on my presentation of myself when it comes to my business. And this is the reason why it's important, and it's going to seem very minuscule, but this is the reason why it's important that on my channel, it's going to seem like, girl, you talking about everything, you all over the place, but everything matters to God. Everything is like, think about it like connecting the dots. Sometimes you cannot have one without the other, and something that you think is small is actually holding you up and preventing you from the other thing that you're asking God for, right? So one of the things that I really wanted to do was work on my presentation of myself. One of the things in business that you have to realize, and that I'm coming to realize, is that I am my brand. Right? So when I'm getting dressed in the morning, when I'm walking out the door, I work from home a lot, so I'm no longer walking out the door a lot of times. So even how I walk around my household, how I represent myself to my husband, present myself to my husband, even in elevating ourselves and marketing ourselves for the business, there's a certain way that I need to present myself. There's a certain, there's just a certain air that I should carry when representing our business and realizing that I am that representation 24/7. So one of the things I'd ask God about is my overall presentation. Help me work on that and figure out what best fits for me. Right down to, God, I am not the makeup person, right? I'm not the one that's going to sit in the mirror and do my makeup for 2 hours just so I can go out. I'm not that person, nor will I ever be, right? But Lord, help me find a quick 5-minute look that I can do and still be presentable before the people and for myself, Lord, help me find some hairstyles. I have dreads, and sometimes, that works for me. Sometimes it doesn't work for me. Sometimes the what to do with them and when to do it and all of those things kind of factor into it. So Lord, help me find 5 good hairstyles that will work with my hair. Just something as simple as that. My overall presentation, my wardrobe, my clothes, and all that. And I prayed and I asked God for that. I asked God from a business standpoint, I asked him to help me with my diction. Lord, help me with the way that I present our company. Help me with the way that I speak about our company. Help me to be, in a way, clear and concise. Help me be enjoyable to the people that we encounter, and help them be able to feel that energy from me, and be able to feel my personality from a sense of, I'm an introvert by nature, but whenever it comes to sales, whenever it comes to business, that's not who I need to be. So help me develop into, I don't ever want to put on someone that I'm not, but help me develop into the person that I need to be to actually live up to the capacity that I'm asking for. So that was a prayer that I had of mine, of just my overall diction, my overall, how I speak about things, being able to take a long thought. You guys are going to figure out, if you haven't figured it out by now, you guys are going to have to figure out I'm a little long-winded, right? But bear with me because the Lord is working on me, okay? But being able to take these broad thoughts and these broad ideas and whatever the case may be, and take this whole long-winded nature, Lord, help me be able to bring that down to human level, right? And to be clear and to be concise in what I do. Some other things that I had prayed for is just the ability to market better, the ability to market and reach more people. From a business side of things, from a sales aspect of things, it's very important to realize that, for one, if you've sold one thing, whether it's your service, whether it's a product, whether it's whatever the case may be, if you sold it once, you can sell it twice. If you sell it twice, you can sell it 5 times. If you sold it 5 times, you can do it 10 times. So it's all about the ability to scale and to multiply what you have already done. If you can prove that you have a package that people want, if you solve the problem, then the only thing you have to figure out after that is, how do you scale this? How do you give the people what they want? And a part of that is getting in front of more people. Just simply getting in front of more faces. One of the things that I noticed in our personal business is that our conversion rate is really strong. When we get in front of people, we tend to convert them. Okay, we tend to be able to have a package, a service that they really enjoy, that solves their problem, and we tend to be able to convert at a really high rate. Our problem is getting in front of the right people and getting in front of enough people, right? So my prayer was, Lord, help me get in front of more people. Help my exposure, help us to expand that aspects of things where we can get in front of more people. So all of those things really factoring in, and Lord, expand our impact, right? Because one of the things that my husband and I talked about, and I'll get into that once we get into our story, but one of the things that we talked about in deciding to continue the business, because we will definitely be talking about that, where when you're at the crossroad of, is this something you still even want to do, right? Because sometimes you will get to that place in business where you have put more money into it than you're getting out, and you're going to ask yourself, is this something I still want to do, right? And when you get to that place and you make the decision, right? So my husband and I got to the place, and for us, the decision was like, we looked at it and we said, yeah, this is what we want to do. And here's why. But one of the things that we wanted to do and that we still strive to do is to really impact people. Property management, when you're dealing with people's homes and where they're living, you're dealing with their investments, you're dealing with, on both sides of things, from the renter and then also the tenant. We have a unique opportunity to impact people with where they're living, right? And how they're living. So that was another prayer of ours, is to really expand our impact of people, our impact on people, right? We don't want to just live this life and be in this world and just do a thing, right? We don't want to just do it. We don't want to just live, do a thing and die, right? We want to be able to live, impact this world for Jesus and in the way that he would have us to do it, and then go on to glory to be with the Lord, right? So that was that's like the whole scope of things. And with that whole idea of things, as I began to pray, to really sit there and listen to God and understand, one, my walk in disobedience, and I had to repent, but two, all the things that I was missing out on by not following what he told me to do, right? And as I began to sit there and I really began to listen and I really began to open myself up to him, one of the things that I realized, even in doing this whole YouTube channel and really putting some focus and putting some real effort into it, one of the things that I realized is that, man, if I committed a year to doing it the way the Lord told me to do it, I would check all of those boxes. There is no way in the world that those categories for me would not change. If I committed a year to doing it bad, just commit the year to doing it bad. I heard he is a podcaster. He helps people with their businesses and all of that. I wish I could remember his name, but if I remember it, I'll definitely make sure that I put it in the description. But man, I do listen to him. I've started listening to him more recently, and he is a Christian businessman and just teaching you how to do business well. Kind of the guru in that section of things. But I listen to him often, and one of the things that he said is, man, just commit to it and commit to doing it bad. Just commit to doing it bad. Like, everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything doesn't have to be put together. You don't have to have all the answers to everything. But if you can just commit to doing it consistently, and in your mind, if you commit, man, I'm going to do this whether I do it bad or whether I don't, you're going to find out that at the end of it, you're going to improve. You're going to find some sort of improvement. You're going to find some sort of growth if you're doing it well. Right. And that was one of the things that that I was really noticing and really impressing upon me in prayer. Is like, if you, all these things that you're asking me for, if you really do the thing that I have set you out to do, you'll receive it. Right. So that was a whole other situation for me. Like, okay. So really just dealing with that, and set out to do it and say, and this time around, I said, okay, God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it well, right? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it the way you said, that I should do it. And some of the videos may come out bad. Some of them may not, whatever the case may be, but I'm super excited. So here's the plan.